Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Measure for Measure. I'm Sean Casey here in the studio. Very happy to have Chris and Erica with me today. Chris and Erica are a duo that has really caught fire and has been singing all over the North Country and has a lot of exciting gigs coming up. And it consists of Chris Parker and Erica May Kuchar. And so, Chris, you can start by telling us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of just general background of who Chris is.
Well, I've been singing my whole life. Started singing in church at 6 years old on in the junior choir, and for the last 27 years or so, I've been playing guitar and writing songs, and performed in quite a few places over the years. But I took about a 20-year break of performing, and now we're just starting to do it again, and been playing on stage for a couple of years now. And 8 or 9 months ago, Erica and I started playing together, and it seems to be taking off.
Yeah, it really has. You've hit a good good blend, and getting quite a bit of really favorable attention, and people are really coming out and wanting to hear your songs. So, Erica, how about a little bit about you?
Well, I'm 24. I've been singing like my entire life, been in plays and chorus and all that good stuff. And I started really singing out in public when I discovered karaoke. That was kind of a blessing. And then him and I met a few years ago, and like he said, we've been doing this for like 8 months now. And I sang at Fenway last year in September. I won a competition through my employer, and I got to sing the national anthem at a Red Sox game, so that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big opportunity, and an amazing thing to be singing in front of 38,000 people. Or something
Yeah,
like that.
Something like that.
A little
right
different
around there, yeah.
than most of the venues here, but
Just a little, yeah.
although that said, I mean, you guys have really been caught fire and have been playing some of the big places in Vermont. You were at Higher Ground, and really have been touring all around the North Country. What's, just to jump a little bit ahead, where do you kind of see it going? Do you like staying in any plans to like go regional or that type of thing, or are you just taking it as it comes?
I think we're going to try and play wherever we can.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of friends in a lot of different states, and the concept has come up to play with our friend Robert Hunter in Philadelphia. We just did a Valentine's gig here with him and our friend Kyle Stevens, and he brought up the idea of us going down there, so we may be heading to Philadelphia, but I've talked about going up to Bangor, Maine, but friends all over, and I'm hoping to start to plug into different places, and we're working with another friend of ours, Sal, and he is going to try and help us get some bigger and better things going on.
Yeah. Well, it seems, that you're, uniquely poised because, it's about that. It's about, like, setting it up yourself now, and house concerts and doing your own promotion. I think the days of a band or a duo being sort of discovered and then sort of managed and sent everywhere to do these things is, I think those days are kind of over in this DIY type of music industry now, that everything's about where do you want to go, where do you want to take it.
Right, right.
Yeah. Now you've been writing for about 27 years, about the
Just
pretty
about
much as soon
somewhere
as you
in there,
started
27.
playing?
It might be sneaking up on 28 now. I started writing lyrics when I was 14, and the next year I picked up my guitar and really started to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I like the fact that you have an interesting dynamic of what to add and when. Erica, you seem to have a great feel for that, as far as adding to a song and not and not taking it to some place where the writer and the performer, the main the vocalist might not want it to go. Can you tell me a little bit about your approach to singing one of Chris's songs. What was the first song you ever sang with him of his? And is it intimidating sometimes to get into a song that he wrote and wonder if you're really connecting with the same emotion?
Yeah, definitely. Especially like the song that he sings, Adam's song. I like to kind of keep it light because that means a lot to him, and I have a hard time connecting because I never knew Adam myself. So I like to keep it really light and keep it mostly him, and just give it a little bit of pretty harmony in the background, and then leave it at that. I think the first song that I ever sang with him was "I'm Sorry." And that's the one that we have like the most, as for his songs, that we have like the most harmony in and that I sing the most in. And I think that's just because it's more of an upbeat song and it calls for more body and more vocals. In his lighter songs, I just try to keep it nice and mellow and try not to take it over because I wanted to keep it about him,
It was important to know the, what role to take as a, you want to color and you want to add. And but ultimately, it's you're sort of taking a cues from Chris as far as what is he doing this song a little bit more forcefully tonight? Maybe he's experimenting with that aspect of a song. Because some songs, sometimes they might seem a little more angry than others.
Yeah.
Like you'd mentioned a song you guys do, Adam's song. And it's a song about loss, and we'll talk a little bit about that more when we get into the, when you're about to do the song. But, that would have a lot of different aspects to, and a bunch of different emotions flowing through it. Would you say, Chris?
It definitely can.
Yeah.
Definitely can. It's took me 2 days to write it. I wrote it 17 years ago, and it just I couldn't come up with anything, and I had to write a song because at that point it was how I identified with myself. Like I was a songwriter, and one of my best friends had passed away, and I'm like, I have to write this song. I ended up taking 2 days off of work, sitting in a room by myself, and I spent the better part of 2 days sitting in that room just working on that song, and I couldn't get anything. And I literally just remember, and I'm not a huge spiritual guy, but I remember saying, you got to help me out with this. It's not coming. And half an hour later, the song was done.
Yeah. It's amazing how that it sort of happens. The muse or whatever whispers it in your ear, and then all of a sudden, came out of nowhere. But actually, we're going to hear a song to start out with. A song called "I Can't Resist You," and you both sing on this song. Can you tell me a little bit about when you wrote it and basically how long you've been singing it, and anything about the song that's surprised you once you started singing it, and particularly when Erica started joining you? Like, did she bring out colors that you hadn't really noticed as much?
It definitely sounds different for me to listen to somebody else sing my song anyway. And that song was probably pushing 10 years old by the time she ever heard it. It came out of, I tend to say, if you don't have a lot of bad things go on in life, sometimes it's hard to write, and you can write some really great songs out of the worst stuff that could possibly happen to you. So I'd gone through a divorce, I had met a new woman, and we were looking at getting married, and that's where that song came from. I was just head over heels in love, and I wrote it. And I don't write a lot of those type of songs, but it was totally head over heels in love for that one. And it came out fairly easily, and then years later, it's fun to get together with the girlfriend now, because that marriage eventually went down in the tubes too, leading to some other songs. And it's fun to have my girlfriend sing it. Actually, I like to watch her sing it and listen to her, and I think it adds a huge dynamic with us singing it together. But I let her sing the lead just because it's fun.
Yeah. And so this song is called "I Can't Resist You."
Yep.
All right. Well, let's hear that song.
Everybody's got a time for peace, love, and happiness. Oh yeah, I'll take mine for you. Folded arms and eyes that were blind. I turned my head and I tested time. I could not resist you. I can't resist you. Oh no, I can't resist you. Oh, in my soul through and through, I can't resist you. Days and weeks and months and years, I'll be there through all your tears, right there beside you. Oh, I never thought I'd find the one that I could laugh and play and have so much fun with. Hell yeah, baby, that's you. I can't resist you. Oh no, I can't resist you. In my soul through and through, I can't resist you. Years to come, I hope I'll be every single thing you need. Still standing by you. Oh, and in the end, I hope you'll be lying there right next to me. I don't plan on dying. I can't resist you. Oh, I can't resist you. Oh, in my soul through and through. In my soul through and through, I can't resist you. I can't resist you.
Well, thank you for that, guys. It was a great performance of "I Can't Resist You." Now, you had mentioned that that's a song, about a relationship, and you guys not only are singing partners, but you're also, in a romantic relationship as well. So that probably has all kinds of emotional things when you're sharing, not cover songs, but specifically songs that that you've written, about those same emotions, and they're universal in that they're love, but love songs, but yet is it? Do you ever sort of feel like a voyeur or something like that, Erica? That you're sort of looking into, part of Chris's past, and maybe.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've lived his life with him. To be honest with you, through his music, I listen to it so much, and I know every single word to all his songs. So, it's kind of funny, but I just transpose those emotions, and I use those lyrics, and I remember how I feel about him, and that's really kind of how I connect with that song. It's kind of funny if you think about it, but
it's a great, kind of, description of basically what a performance really is. If it's going to be a good performance, obviously you're not reading notes and words off a page. It's about connecting with that emotion, and if you were singing a song, say in a foreign language, and you had absolutely no idea what you were saying, you might technically nail it, but as far as how do you really relate, and so you can get into those same emotions, about I know exactly what this feeling is, and I'm bringing to it the woman's perspective
exactly
from this, about that whole thing of who's not able to resist who. And the roles that we set up for each other, and in expectations for man and a woman, that type of thing. And but you had mentioned you like to sing the lead on that, but you also you have a lot of killer harmonies that you add, both on Chris's songs, but also a lot of the covers that you do. Have you always had an ear for harmony, or is it something you picked up through like choirs, or just always kind of had a feel for what one might fit in someplace?
Well, it's kind of a complicated question. I mean, I've always been able to hear harmony, but I've never been able to just like pick it up and just start singing just like that. That actually has come from singing with him. Like my skills with harmony have gotten so much better since I've been singing with him. I learned a little bit in chorus and stuff, and then I got some lessons from some of our fellow musician friends, and they helped me get into it even more. So it's definitely been a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Still is, but it's getting easier.
We were at a local open mic one night, and I was complaining about how I don't understand. People have tried to explain harmony to me. I don't get it. So like, I'm glad that she picked it up. But this night, this one friend of ours starts trying to explain it, and I'm just sitting there going, I've heard people say that a million times. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand how to do that. And she, all of a sudden, has this huge light bulb come on, and she's been singing harmony like she's been doing it her whole life from that second. I'm counting on her to sing around me and make us sound pretty, because I just don't get it. But she does a great job at it.
Just turn her loose and bring to it what you want to bring to it. But you guys have voices that really blend, because I think there are voices that don't blend. Sometimes, and just whatever causes that, I don't know. But you guys are fitting sort of, I call it like the pocket. Like when you're singing like a harmony part, and you're just right in there, right in that layer, whether even if you're doing like a third or a fifth, you're just like following and you're just right in that little sweet spot. And it's a great feeling when you get that, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely feel it kind of resonates when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had asked earlier about what kind of leeway she feels like she gets in the song, and I mean, it's pretty rare that I look at her and go, "Don't do that." Usually I'm happy with whatever she's doing, even if it's not consistent with what she did the last time. It's still.
Yeah, there are a lot of songs
I don't even know that I would
don't do
notice
the
it because it flows so well. So, she does a great job at harmonizing. She keeps us stuck together.
Yeah. Now you were saying that. Sorry, you was going to say something.
Oh, I was going to say.
Sorry. Oh, that's all right.
Okay. Just that there are a lot of his songs that I don't do the same twice. You know what I mean? Like I just say, whatever feels right, whatever sounds right. There's like maybe 2 songs of his originals that I sing the exact same way every time, and that's it. Otherwise, I just kind of keep the creativity flowing.
Yep. As long as you don't make each other laugh.
In all fairness, if she tried to do it uniform, I'm almost never uniform, so she has to. She kind of knows where I'm gonna go, even when I don't do it the right way. There's a reason we're a duet. If I was playing with another band member, they'd be so lost. Like, it's easy to go on stage when it's just the 2 of you. If I get lost, I just keep going, and she follows me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but you can find out, sort of discover even more different parts of songs, maybe that you weren't, aware of, and that something that, like a lyric, might really catch Erica's ear, and she feels that's something she wants to stress, something that really explains sort of one aspect of the song, and it might be not as obvious to you, and maybe because you haven't ever accentuated that in a song. But what about the, was it sort of nerve-wracking when you decided to sort of become a duo? Is it like tough to give that kind of freedom initially? Did she have to sort of earn her way into your trust as far as musically before you'd?
Oh God, no.
You'd feel.
I figure I'd seen her sing probably a good 3 years before her and I actually got together. Like back when I was with my second wife, we were out singing karaoke, and that's when I first saw her, and she sang the Carrie Underwood version of Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home, and I never forgot it. And years later, I'd run into her here and there through karaoke, and found myself single at the same time she was, and ran into her out singing. And I've had full confidence in her singing ability long before she had any, so so it's not hard.
Terrific. Yeah, now, what getting to your writing a little bit, do you find that the writing sort of comes in like fits and starts, and you all of a sudden you'll be in a writing mode for a while, and then maybe go to dry periods?
Yeah, I could go a couple of years and not write a song, and I'd say right now I'm in a dry period. But 8 months ago or so, when we decided that we were going to do this, I learned 13 cover songs for her to sing, and 3 more for me, just so that we could go do a 2-hour show. And I learned them in a few weeks, and honestly, that might be as many or more than I'd ever learned in my whole life, because I just wasn't a cover song guy. So we're in a totally new dynamic right now, and I feel like I'm learning more and more so that our shows aren't as repetitive as they can be, because if you go to a show and you go to the same person's show over and over again, you tend to see a lot of the same stuff. So instead of
Dan
writing,
Springsteen guy always does that Born to Run.
I know. I mean, who wants to hear Springsteen over and over again? No. But it just I've been spending so much time learning cover songs and trying to put together our act, and I'm finding we're doing less and less originals, and I want to get back to writing some originals. And I think what the thing is, the reason I'm concentrating on cover songs is because by the time we've got that one set good, we're bored of it, because we've sang it so many times, so we want to learn more. So we learn more because the writing's not coming out, so I can expand faster that way. But I definitely think it's time to get back into some writing, and I popped a few things out last week, and I'm kind of hoping to go back to it and see what comes out. It's been, I don't think I've written a complete song in about 1.5 years now, so it's time to either finish some of those partials or come up with a new inspiration of something, because it's definitely time for new songs.
Yeah, but sometimes that can sort of, having more demands on your time can sometimes help if you're that type of a person that they sort of needs the clock to be ticking, sort of, and to have your time, a little bit more structured, and so you really escape to those times when you're going to write. Instead of just having all this time and saying, well, all right, I have all this free time, so I'll try to write a song. Sometimes do you find it's easier to really, when you don't have as much time, that's when the inspiration might come. Like whenever I have to go somewhere, that's when I want to play guitar.
Right.
I don't know if you find that.
Well, I do find, along that lines, I do find that sometimes when you are suddenly in the middle of inspiration, you have to go to work. You picked up your guitar 5 minutes before you needed to leave and just started playing around, and suddenly something comes to you. Well, then you can record it and run to work. But do you get back to it? Not always. I discover things on my phone, and it's something I sang into my phone 6 months ago, and I'm like, what is this? And I'll listen to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'll remember that. That was pretty cool. And then it gets put down because I was busy at that moment too. But I would bet my phone's got 20 partials in it. But
it is important too, because I find to put it down, because a lot of times you think, I will never forget this. And yes, you will. Like 5 minutes later, I completely remember this course. I'll remember where this is going. And no, you won't. So you have to, once you've been bitten by that, and say, damn, that was my stairway to heaven. Where'd it go?
Yeah. Oh, I would bet you I've forgotten more songs than I've ever written, even complete ones. I went probably 20 years where I didn't write them down. So once you get bored of playing it, in fact, we sing a song that I I kind of threw it together. It had a cool concept to it, and I threw it together for a New Year's Eve show close to a year and a half, or close to 2.5 years ago now. And that was probably one of the first shows that we ever sang together, and we weren't really doing it this way. I was gonna go play, and they were like, "Is Erica coming with you?" It's by demand that we ended up being a duet. We were dating for on and off for 3 years before we decided to do this duet thing. Mm. And it's every time that I would book a gig, the next thing out of their mouth was, "Is Erica singing with you?" Well, yeah, I guess so. And then it became a demand thing. People want to hear her, so.
I'll bring her along. She's not expecting to. But.
So I threw together this song for that, and we played it that night, and maybe we played it at an open mic a week or two later or something, but the song disappeared. I forgot all about it, and this is even in the day and age where I'm typically writing things down, but I specifically remember that one getting shredded, riding around and rolling around in my trunk, so I didn't have the lyrics to it, and it wasn't ever really what I wanted, and it disappeared. And one night we're sitting at home, and out it came. I went, "Oh yeah, remember that song?" Then we started trying to figure it out, and we managed to put it together in a way that now we're playing it almost every show. Mm-hmm. And I had totally forgotten it existed.
Yeah. It was sort of like an old friend, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. And it came back better.
Yeah. Nice, but maybe things needed a little time to percolate. Mm-hmm. They come back. Now, the next song we're going to hear is a song. It's called Adam's Song. Yep. Can you tell me a little bit about what this song, or who this song is about? Whatever you'd like to tell. It's a personal song. But.
Adam was a friend I met at probably preschool level. Not that we really had preschool when I was that age, but it was like 4 years older, so we started hanging out on the playground or whatever, and over the years he just continued to end up in my life to the point I even moved towns when I was 11, and within 6 months there he was in my school with me. His mother had up and moved to the same town I'd moved to, so we both ended up in the same junior high together and went right up through high school together. And typical boys will be boys friends, we're arguing one minute, friends the next, but I mean, practically a brother to me. And when we were 24, about 9 months after I'd gotten married, and I was just about to buy a house, and I honestly remember I never even told him that I was shopping for the house. And I was like, I'm going to buy this house, and then I'm going to invite him up to have a barbecue at my house, because we always barbecue at his house. I'm not even going to tell him until closing, and I'm going to come on up and barbecue on my deck. Mm-hmm. So we didn't make that, actually. So he passed away in a car accident, went through a fence, and a post came through his windshield, and that was about the end of it. And mm-hmm. So it took me about 2 weeks, but then I sat down. Like I said, I locked myself in that room, and I finally asked him for help, and it came out. And, mm-hmm. To this day, that song is basically about the day of his funeral, and his friend Pete, who was like a brother to him too, was just standing there staring. And in the chorus it says, "He stood and he stared and wondered where his hero would be playing tonight." And it's all about Adam was a musician like us, and Pete was just devastated, and he was the last person standing there as we walked away. And I have that image in my head, and that image is immortalized in that song.
Yeah. All right, so let's hear Adam's Song.
Hey, you called me just the other day. Never made it around your way. And suddenly you passed away. You stolen from our lives that day. You were stolen from our lives that day. Carried you to your resting place. I'll never forget the look on that one man's face. Oh, as he stood and he stared and he wondered where his hero would be playing tonight. We stood and we cried and we wondered why, 'cause the future looks so very bright. And yeah, the future looks so very bright. Well, everyone loved him, everyone's there, everyone's holding on to anyone who cared, and everyone's praying, and everyone's saying, what a